Hello to all traders and welcome back to another video brought to you by Orbex. We're looking at cryptocurrencies today, Bitcoin in particular, after it jumped over 5% back to the 20,000 mark. But since in the last few hours, it has actually dropped back down roughly to under 19,000. So another 5% drop. And this is a little bit of a characteristic of Bitcoin in the last few years. You know, it has actually jumped up a few thousand, then jumped down in such a short space of time. But if we're looking at the overall picture here, we are seeing that to date it's lost over 50% of its value, which is quite significant. If we look at the peaks and record highs that it has been in the last few years, we've seen another leg lower for Bitcoin. So what does this mean for the cryptocurrency space in general, and what does it mean obviously for looking at things that could affect Bitcoin, such as stocks, the US dollar, gold? Are these all things that we have to keep in mind now? And is it looking likely that we will see a spike higher for Bitcoin in the near term at least? Well, look at the charts, especially I've marked out the 20,000 range just for our viewers and clients alike that are trading Bitcoin. And as you can see here, we are still hovering really from the middle of June, so a multi-month sideways correlation at the moment, and what looks like not really getting out of this bubble. So as you can see here, we had a low of roughly about 17,500, and this was back in June. But since then, we haven't really managed to get away from it. We are still testing these particular choppy prices here. And as you can see, we are now looking for another leg lower. It doesn't seem to be going any lower than possibly the middle and a half 18,000 range. But if that being said, are we looking at now another leg higher? This will be quite significant, because if we just zoom in a little bit more, I've got this on the daily chart just for easier reference. With the assistance of the Ichimoku cloud, as you can see here, we are weighed down slightly by the cloud. We are getting a bit of resistance here, and obviously we are now in a little bit of a channel to the downside, you could say. What I'm really looking for now, technically, let's forget about the fundamentals. Technically at the moment, I'm just waiting to see if we can punch above these previous lows. If we can have another support here, then we can possibly get back up to this 5% V-shaped recovery, and then possibly move higher than the 20 or just over $20,000 mark that we've seen in the last few sessions. It has been a very, very troubling time for Bitcoin. Lots of sell-off in the market. If we put it back to the daily chart, just want to show you something interesting. As I said, technically we are looking at what the next move is in the market. But as you can see here, we are having these legs lower, slight consolidation, legs lower, consolidation, another leg lower, and this vast consolidation now. So we are looking for the next signal, what is going to be for Bitcoin, because a lot of traders are asking, where can we put in our buys or sells? Well, based on this information, we are just waiting to see the next signal on the MACD or RSI to see if there's a little bit of an upturn and then possibly a break. And the 20,000 mark would be very, very quite psychological, because then 21,000 comes into the picture, and then we can see if we can start moving higher than we did do previously. So this is what we're looking on at the moment. Ethereum, on the other hand, we are now seeing a slight uptick. We are basically, if we put a channel on this, which is going to be a bit easier to see, we are seeing a slight bullish run at the moment, even though in the last 48 hours we are seeing, sorry, the last few sessions we are seeing a bit of a downturn, and then as I said, the last 48 hours, a bit of consolidation now. So what does this mean exactly? Well, with the assistance of the Ichimoku cloud, which is the one I usually use, we are seeing now if we can break through the bottom border. Just zoom in so it's easier reference. If we can break through the bottom border, then we are now looking likely prices will start moving a little bit more higher. As I said, we're in a little bit of a bull channel at the moment, so it is giving us a bit of an impetus to the upside. But technically, we are just seeing if we're going to get past this 1600 handle, which has been quite psychological in the last few sessions as well. Excuse me. 4-hour chart. Not too much to sink our teeth into here. Very, very consolidated, very, very major sideways pattern here at the moment. But we are still looking to see if we can have a slight bull run and a bit of an indication on where the price will be going next. So for me, if we can break out of this Ichimoku band, then another leg higher could go into the motion. But like Bitcoin, we've had a move higher, a move lower. Now we're expecting it to be rejuvenated, because if we can't get past this particular support area, then chances are we will be seeing another leg higher. But we'll see how that turns out in the near term with all this inflation, unemployment and GDP embargo. And don't forget, we've got the NFP figures coming up next week as well, so that'll be quite interesting. So that's all from today's video. Thank you very much for joining me, and we'll speak again tomorrow. Bye for now.